A very good evening to you all and welcome to this first edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV this Monday, the 13th day of June 2022. On sign language, it is Elizabeth Nakakoni and I am Rukidi Kiijanagoma, and we are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. Now, President Yoweri Museveni has assured the people of Karamoja and security personnel that the gun violence in Karamoja will end soon. Mr. Museveni assured sub-region at Morulinga State Lodge in a Park District, where it was observed that local leaders are engaging in the illegal business of selling guns. Take a watch.
We are prosecuted.
Political and clan leaders in Karamoja seem to be selling guns that facilitate cattle rustling. Such activities hinder government's efforts to end insecurity in Karamoja. During a security visit in Karamoja sub-region, President Museveni was told that the leaders connive with crowd-based informers to dodge security forces in disarmament operations.
Several local leaders in our custody are being suspected of possessing guns illegally. Karamoja strongly believe in their governance system of elders and fortune tellers. The elders from different power positions that influence and control social and political setup of Karamoja community, that is accurate.
The same leaders seem to pave way for fugitive Turkana warriors from Kenya who hide from the ongoing disarmament operation. 2 people have so far been killed in Napak and Kotido, resulting from the uncooperativeness of leaders and security forces.
Your Excellency, there is a Karamoja community where they gather something they call aggregate. And this governance system contracts the central government system, where elders are considered an alternative government.
In Karamoja, a gun is purchased at 3 million shillings. 3 to 5 cows and 1 to 2 bags of sorghum can get you a gun, and this has encouraged persistent gun violence.
This is because the state had lost credibility. What you are talking about is what happens when the state is no longer respected. That's when alternative groups come up, like the elders become an authority, the witch doctors become an authority, because they are not sure whether this government can defend you or not, if you work fully for the government.
Ending commercialized cattle rustling in Karamoja and surrounding areas will restore peace, sanity, and credibility of the state, which President Museveni says local leaders should embrace. Ivan Kahwa and Miriam Womjisha, UBC.
Now, the Deputy Permanent Secretary to the Minister of Finance and Secretary to the Treasury, Patrick Okalap, has conceded before COSASE that he approved in error the controversial 10.6 billion supplementary budget for compensation of 6 land claimants. The committee also quizzed the former Permanent Secretary, Keith Muhakanizi, who pleaded innocent to the transactions. We have more in this story.
That have stolen money.
While appearing before the Parliament Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises COSASE, former Secretary to the Treasury Keith Muhakanizi disassociated himself from the controversial 10.6 billion that was irregularly initiated by the former Minister of Lands, Betty Kamya, to pay off 6 claimants, of whom some are said to be ghost claimants. Muhakanizi told the committee that he was away on sick leave when the supplementary was processed and executed.
Nevertheless, unlike other people, I take overall responsibility, not personal responsibility, because I was not there. That even in my submission at the beginning, and I think you had not yet come, I said there was a procedural mistake.
The committee then tasked the Deputy Secretary to the Treasury, Patrick Okalap, who also deputized Muhakanizi then to explain the matter.
But the attachment is not there, and he went ahead and acted based on what I'm calling a rumor, because there's nothing to substantiate it.
Ochailap apologized that he approved the irregular supplementary budgeting error because he did not see the said presidential directive that was quoted by the former Minister Kamya, now IGG, in requesting Ministry of Finance to avail funds for the 6 claimants without knowledge of the accounting officer, the Uganda Land Commission.
To act on a written directive. It was not a rumor because written.
No, what are you calling a written directive?
It is here in black and white.
That's a directive by who?
It's a communication of a directive by a minister.
That's the point. It's a communication of a directive. When I communicate a directive, I should be able to attach the directive if it does exist.
Honorable Chair, I concede I made an error in judgment.
The 10.6 billion was used to compensate beneficiaries who included Kasia Rabukurukuru, who got 6.4 billion for land in Chionga in Shema district, and Stephen Peter Nagenda of Chibale, who got 1 billion. Julius Busura got 1.4 billion. Natalina Moli got 1.6 billion. Yisaka Rakana 125 million. Mugisha Joffrey, who got 1.4 billion for land at Buyaga in Chibale district.
The purported initiation even had lies therein. I'll call them lies because there's nothing to justify them. Because when somebody says, I'm requesting for this money on the basis of a presidential directive, and then they don't attach a presidential directive, they are telling lies.
Shamim Naiga and Gloria Gutabenji, UBC News.
Now, over 150 armed forces from the Democratic Republic of the Congo have reportedly fled into Uganda. UPDF has also deployed heavily at Bunagana border to prevent the war from spilling over into Uganda.
Gunfire at Bunagana border has forced a big number of Congolese to enter into Uganda. There has been heavy UPDF and police deployment to prevent fighting to cross into Uganda. The border has been taken over by rebels who are patrolling the town on the Congolese side.
Here is the territory of Uganda and it's guarded by UPDF. Nobody can step here and bring war. If he does, UPDF is there to defend Ugandan territories. But on the side of Congo, these refugees, we don't want them to stay here along the borderline.
The situation at the border has forced more than 30,000 civilians to flee to Bunagana. There are also allegations that FADC soldiers have fled to Uganda.
The Wananchi of Congo are seeing very many people who are armed and they cannot distinguish who is who, but I'm yet to sit with my security team.
Businesses at the border have been closed.
Supposed to go to Goma City, but they cannot go. Businesses are standstill. Even the cross-border business cannot go on. That place now, which has been attacked, invaded by the rebels, all the Congolese have closed the shops and they have run away.
Daniel Chisamo in the office of the Prime Minister Nyakabande Holding Center says they can accommodate all the refugees. By press time, M23 rebels were heard firing bullets in the air as they conquered Bunagana border. This border is the main connection to Uganda, Rutshuru and Goma towns in Rutshuru territory. Thousands of Congolese are converging to the borderline as they wait for the announcement of rebels, either to allow them to go back to DRC or to keep at the border. Travelers are not supposed to cross to DRC. They are just parked at Uganda Bunagana Parkyard.
Skirmishes there at the border between DRC and Uganda at Bunagana. Now to matters pertaining to the health sector, the Ministry of Health has confirmed the resurgence in the number of COVID cases. Now over 1,000 positive cases were registered, majority of which are under home-based care and with at least 6 people admitted.
What is important is that COVID has never gone away. There has been cases being reported, but in a single digit. But now the cases have moved to double digit, then to triple digit.
The Minister of Health spokesperson, Emmanuel Inebiona, says there has been a build-up of the numbers of COVID-19 cases, which calls for vigilance and the population adopting back the Ministry of Health preventive guidelines, like wearing face masks, hand washing with soap, use of hand sanitizers, and avoiding crowded places.
Previous days, the day we had 124, then 119. The latest of 11th test done on 11 shows 82 cases.
However, if the public does not adopt back the preventive measures, there are high chances of the cases spreading further.
Because if the numbers grow, then you might find the hospitals getting overwhelmed. For now, the numbers admitted are still low. We have, across all the COVID treatment units, we have only 6 patients. 4 at Murago, 1 at Guru, and 1 in the private sector.
He calls on people who have not been vaccinated to ensure they get vaccinated, as well as high-risk population groups to receive the booster doses to supplement their immunity. Mtonyi Hilda, UBC.
And it's advisable that all of you people should actually respect and follow the SOPs in order for these cases to stop going up. Now, police are investigating the matter of public nuisance where students of Lubiri High School were in humorous dance while traveling to Jinja. Police spokesperson Fred Enanga says the Directorate of Criminal Investigations is investigating the school and the owner of the bus.
Over the weekend, a video of Lubiri High School students spread on different social media platforms, traveling in Midland High School bus while dancing.
The big question is, how did the incident occur on a school bus? Without the school staff and driver knowing without the knowledge of the school staff and
the Directorate of Criminal Investigations have started investigating the act it terms as public nuisance.
The team has been comprised and it is being headed by the Commissioner, Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Department at CID headquarters. We brought Child and Family on board, our ICT, and once they have concluded their investigations, we shall see the most appropriate action to be taken against culprits.
The administration of Lubiri High School will provide information concerning the trip and the tour supervision team.
Some students were caught on camera getting note, including very inappropriate sexual behaviors by male and female students who had paired up in the bus. Such indecent practices and behaviors, of course, were strongly condemned by a larger section of the public, including parents, guardians, because of the potential of impairing morals of students.
Schools are advised to reactivate vigilance teams for proper observance of students' behaviors.
You could see that there was much laxity on supervision of the students, and we now call upon all schools as a must to activate their supervision plans across all learning environments within the school and in external learning environments.
Security has cautioned the politicians for fueling the upper conflict between Acholi and Madi in Zoka area. Politicians in this region accused of using different media platforms to spread hatred.
Showing that the honorable members of parliament on the other side of Northwest Nile and this other side of Aswa, that is Acholi, we are mobilizing youths and vigilantes for radio attacks using radio and digital platforms. As the joint security agencies, we do strongly condemn all acts of violence within APA. We've intensified patrols to guard against any further ethnic clashes in the areas of Olui, Pakapaka, Ali, Oyanga, and Ruoto Promo.
In other development, security have arrested Monica Kairu, a Kenyan national, over torturing a maid to a near death.
To make her sweep the compound while naked, and this was a routine, and she would push sticks into her private parts. She denied her food and forced her to eat 2 kilograms of sugar, and forced her to eat flour, mixed with tap water. These are just, ways in which she was tortured, and never paid her salary until 6th of May when the suspect abandoned her at a bus park.
The police weekly crime report has indicated an increase in cases of child murder emanating from domestic violence. Abdul Nasilo Lubwama and Lydia Chomukama, UBC News.
Prime Minister Robina Nabanja has pledged a seed school for Kayungwe sub-county in Kanungu district to promote access to education. She was visiting the newly created Kayungwe sub-county.
The new Kayungwe sub-county has no seed school in the whole constituency of Kinkizi East. This has prompted the Prime Minister Robina Nabanja to promise citizens a seed school and health center 3.
Sub-county getting a health center 3 I have. Nowadays, it
Nabanja urged parents to encourage their children to work hard.
Stop land fragmentation. President Kwatu Gambire okusikiza itaka mukuzara abana mugenda kusikiza eitaka ati okusikiza is inheritance okulisara sharamu mukagaba nuyisanga tachini itaka wazara abana basikira omusayi itaka libe lya family yona inywene mukulira. Because one thing I've discovered, abana bwe muba wetaka alibirako katono emirundi ebiri ogwokusatu ng'alitunda ng'afuna bodaboda ng'agenda Kampala.
The district chairperson Kanungu requested government to work on the district roads.
Tuine ebyoma ebitubire twashabire road equipment ebimu atwire tibikakora hangudo zitu kurunja habwa amabare n'ebishozi.
News Tonight will now be taking a short break, but we'll return with much more. Do stay with us.
Today in history.
The Prime Minister of Israel, Mr. Eshkol, arrived in Uganda for an official visit. Eshkol was received by the then Vice President John Babiha and Colonel Eid Amin, among other dignitaries. The following day, then President Milton Obote hosted the Israel Prime Minister at State House Entebbe.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello, this is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Congratulations. Oh, one good day.
Good day? But I haven't entered any competition.
Owadechi, since you use your phone every day, we have randomly selected you as one of our loyal customers, and you have won a brand new pickup.
Hey, so how do I get this pickup?
The pickup is in Namave. All we have to do is quickly bring it to you. You know, we are delivering many of them. So, just send us 100k for fuel via mobile money and we'll bring it to you.
But Chief, I'm in no hurry to receive it. Namambe is just here. Keep it at your warehouse, give me directions and I will get time to pick it up.
Vow nawe. If you don't have money, just say.
Tonfera, never send money to strangers. Winners of competitions are contacted through official channels and are never asked to pay for anything. Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tonfera, refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by UCC, MTN, Airtel, Bank of Uganda, and NPSP Association.
Football packages, great entertainment, sports, local content, telenovela, the movies. There is something for everybody. Go TV, this is where great stories live.
Get the best entertainment for any budget. With GoTV, you will have great entertainment for as little as 13,000 Uganda shillings per month. GoTV, great stories. Zidiwano. GoTV Uganda. Love it.
Get connected today with the My Airtel 4G smartphone and enjoy free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 Uganda shillings. That's free 2 GB for the first month and free 1 GB for the next 11 months at only 250,000 Uganda shillings with free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 shillings, making the effective price of the 4G phone 163,500 shillings only. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities wishes to inform all stakeholders that the National Dialogue on Cultural Heritage and Sustainable Development, which was scheduled for the 14th of June 2022 at Hotel Africana, has been postponed to the 28th of June 2022 due to a national event, the budget speech. Any inconveniences caused is highly regretted.
The Oil and Gas Moment, brought to you by Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey. In order to be contracted to supply goods and services for oil activities in Uganda, you must register on the National Suppliers Database. Between 2017 and 2021, close to 400 Ugandan entities were awarded various contracts to supply goods and services to the sector.
Tech Lab Limited is a geosciences company that has been offering geotechnical and geophysical investigation services to the East African market since its inception in 2002. Our experience working with Ama Energy has been a pleasurable one. The seismic surveys have always been on our radar, and when this opportunity came up, we put together a winning bid and became the first Ugandan company to provide seismic services under an oil and gas contract in Uganda.
Registration on the National Suppliers Database is free. Visit www.pau.go.ug, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
Fellow Ugandans, on Tuesday 14th June 2022, the Honourable Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development will read the budget speech for the financial year 2022-2023. What are the priorities and opportunities in it? To know this and more, please listen to the budget speech financial year 2022-2023 on 14th June 2022 starting at 2 p.m. across all television and radio stations in Uganda. Our budget, our responsibility. This message is brought to you by the Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, CSBAG, Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, and National Budget Month partners.
Welcome back from that short break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV, and a warm welcome to those of you just joining us. Now, Traffic Police has released a special traffic advisory ahead of budget reading tomorrow, the 14th of June at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. The Traffic Police Commander, Kampala Metropolitan Rogers Nsereko, says some roads will be diverted while others closed to allow movement of invited guests to the venue. The special stickers have been printed to guide traffic flow and parking.
This is to inform all invited guests to the National Budget Reading 2022-2023 that the following traffic advisory is in place for ease of movement tomorrow, the 14th of June 2022. Guests with the white and red striped stickers were informed to use Lower Kololo as per the information on the sticker. You are hereby advised to use Elgon Terrace to access Kololo Ceremonial Grounds and not, I stress this, and not Lower Kololo Terrace as was indicated on your sticker. Your parking will be at Heroes Corner. So this is the sticker that was issued to VIPs, but underneath it was indicating Lower Kololo Terrace. So we are correcting this to Elgon Terrace. Please, those who are accessing Kololo, the VIPs, should use Elgon Terrace and not Lower Kololo Terrace.
Traffic advisory regarding tomorrow's budget reading at Kololo ceremonial grounds. Now let's go to Isengiro, where Court of Appeal has reconfirmed Ruben Adenaitwe as duly elected Member of Parliament for Isengiro West County. Now this followed Court of Appeal dismissal of Anthony Mwesige's petition appeal challenging Mbara High Court Judge Moses Kauma Kaziwe's decision to uphold Adenaitwe's victory. The three justices of Court of Appeal, Justice Geoffrey Chiragwire, Christopher Gashirabate and Stephen Musota, in the judgment read by Court of Appeal Registrar Lilian Buchana, Mwesige failed to provide court with sufficient evidence that the Isengiro West County election was marred with election irregularities.
About the votes that had been rejected on some of the two polling stations because of the violence at those polling stations. That was the contest. And in an appeal, the petitioner sought to rely on some data form that was not certified. And the court has agreed with us that it would have been wrong for court for any person to rely on a document that was not found in law. And I agree with us that once you cause an interruption on a polling station, for justice is to cancel the results of that polling station, because you cannot tell who actually won on that polling station. It was Kabianda polling station where there was a contest and violence. So for a total of 5 polling stations, the Electoral Commission had to take a decision to cancel them because we could not verify who actually won on those polling stations.
After the 4 days, they transmitted the different results to the Electoral Commission, and they reduced my margin from what I had to 17, so that we can go for a recount. Then my opponent went to the Chief Magistrate Court for a recount. Then even that case, I won. We went to High Court. In the High Court, I won. Now we are in Court of Appeal. I have also won. So I thank God for that one. So we need to improve on our election, in our elections, see that we make the election free and fair. So at times you find there are some loopholes which make people cheat, which make people rig election, and after losing they run to court when actually they are the ones who are responsible.
I beg your pardon, my lord.
The chairperson, Uganda Human Rights Commission, Mariam Wagadia, has presented the 24th report on the state of human rights and freedoms for 2021 to the Speaker of Parliament. Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayewa, who represented the Speaker, attributed the increasing human rights violations to poverty.
The 24th Annual Report on the State of Human Rights and Freedoms in Uganda 2021 indicates Buvuma and Kalangala districts as major contenders of human rights violation. Presenting the report, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayewa, pledged to expeditiously handle findings of the report. Thomas Tayewa attributes the increasing human rights violations to poverty.
We have very many human rights related issues that are mainly linked to poverty. The biggest precursor being poverty. Because poverty also brings out issues of exposure, issues of studying, issues of literacy and all that. If we have an illiterate population, if we have an exposed population, some of these barbaric acts would stop. So that's why as Parliament we focused on supporting government efforts of bringing more people into the money economy.
The chairperson, Uganda Human Rights Commission, Mariam Wagadia, says the commission needs funding to implement its mandate.
In November 2016, His Excellency the President directed the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to ensure that the government contribution to the commission increases over time, beginning with the financial year 2017-2018. To date, this has never been effective. Several other resolutions for increased funding to the Commission made by Parliament on advice of the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee have also not been honoured.
The report also indicates Karamoja children being subjected to child labour.
In some areas, like Nakomori Waret in Kisorai Moroto district and Lepodo in Lodiko sub-county in Kabong district, children were still working in mining sites. People working in marble quarries and limestone mining sites work without protective gear. Due to this, some had septic wounds on their legs and many with bad coughs, yet they cannot access health services for treatment due to limited financial resources.
The report highlighted challenges faced by urban refugees.
Urban refugees, just like nationals engaged in casual work, are exploited through non-payment for their work in case of summary dismissal, sexual harassment, especially ladies, low pay since Uganda has no minimum wage, and termination of employment without a fair hearing.
The UPDF Chief Political Commissar, Major General Henry Masco, says police and the UPDF are working with the Commission to control human rights violations. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Christians of St. Kizito Sub-Parish, Kisigula, Bunamwaya, are seeking 600 million shillings to build a new church and commence community development initiatives. During the event to mark Holy Trinity Day, the parish priest, Reverend Father Remigius Semuju, urged all Christians across the country to remain steadfast of developmental initiatives.
The parish priest, St. Javira Parish, Reverend Father Remigius Semuju, has asked the Catholic faithful to observe the Holy Trinity Day.
So the fullness of the God that we know, in his fullness, is God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. He is a mystery. It is very hard to understand, simply because we are human beings, that, like St. Augustine was told by an angel, that your head as a human person.
The day coincided with St. Kizito Day, marked by the church as their patron saint.
Which is the month of the martyrs, it had to prepare our sub-parish day. Our patron saint is one of the martyrs, St. Kizito. Good enough, St. Kizito gives us a leadway. He leads us so well in grasping this mystery of the Trinity.
A fundraising drive for the construction of the new sub-parish was conducted during the event. According to the chairperson, fundraising committee, Engineer Betty Kajumba, they need close to 600 million to complete their church.
Estimated cost to complete what is remaining on that church is mainly the roofing and the finishes. If we are to finish up to the finishing level, we will require around 600 million. But at that stage, the stage which is critical now is the stage of roofing. And at roofing, we need 295 million. So far on the account, we have 72 million. And today, during this fundraising, we have been able to get around 11 million so far. That is what we have got from the fundraising of today.
The vocations leader, St. Kizito Javira Bunamwaya Parish, Kayemba Edward Ndaula, describes the area evolution and expressed gratitude to the enormous contribution from God's people.
The idea of expanding the church started around 2008-2009, because by then the church we were using, which is the old church, was becoming smaller and very many parishioners were praying from outside. So an idea came that probably the place is growing and we need to expand the church.
Minister of State for Disability, Helen Grace Asamo, has reaffirmed government's commitment towards protecting persons with disabilities in the country. She was launching a 5-year national action plan for persons with albinism in Uganda at an event to mark International Albinism Awareness Day in Lira City. Eddie Olwa reports.
On the 13th June 2013, the Human Rights Council adopted the first resolution ever on albinism, making 13th International Albinism Awareness Day. This year's Awareness Day was commemorated on the theme United in Making Our Voice Heard. It was commemorated with the launch of the National Action Plan for Persons with Albinism in Uganda.
Congratulations, people living with albinism. And I want to recognize that government has also come up with laws like the Act for People with Disabilities and the Act that is prohibiting traditional people to carry parts because people used to take them for purposes of sacrifice.
Refugees with albinism, policies and laws, accountability, safety and security of persons with albinism. For each of these priority areas, the National Action Plan provides specific measures that need to be implemented.
Barbara Nye, a person with albinism, admitted they still face discrimination even at family level.
The parents does not want to show that they are the one who gave birth to us. They even fear introducing.
We are not peace, gods, or children of demons. Please, we need your love.
The national chairperson for persons with albinism, Olive Namotebi, called for inclusion and support towards the National Action Plan. She claims there are still threats due to false belief that people with albinism possesses magical powers to cure HIV.
It is a very unfortunate situation where some people, because of poverty, have been given to as low as 50,000 and someone really uses you to experiment this myth. It does not work. It is not true. We all know how AIDS is spread, we know how AIDS is controlled, so there is no magical bullet with people with albinism.
Minister of State for Disability Helen Grace Asamo says government will ensure the sunscreens are included among essential drugs for the albinos.
The government of Uganda has removed taxes from the sunscreen, and I think that's the advocacy we are going to start from today to ensure that Minister of Health puts that screen on the national drug list of essential drugs.
We have only one shop in Kampala whereby you get a bottle like this at 150. Or someone in a Gwen cannot get that thing.
The other thing is domestic violence. It's also another issue that they are facing. And usually when they go to report, some of them don't even want to report because they are being discriminated against.
Albinism is a rare group of genetic disorders that cause the skin, hair or eye to have little or no color. Albinism is also associated with vision problems. Eddie Olwa for UBC News in Lira City.
French is coming, you should get to French, listen very well.
Meet Professor Petero. He knows something every hustler in UG is gonna love.
Oh, see. You see, I was just trying to get the documents to register for Airtel Money.
You don't need the documents. You just say the register.
What's going on here? He sells things from the shop, and behind my back, he gets the money and gives it to his girlfriends.
But just get Airtel Money Pay so that all money comes direct to your business wallet and only you, the owner, have access to it. Just dial *185 *10 hash and now you are on. No waiting. Huh? This insanity is sweet. Give them also.
I only take Airtel Money Pay. It's easy and secure.
Yes, become a safer and more efficient cash-free business today. Easy.
Not mixing your business money with your Kameza money. No, that's efficient.
Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities wishes to inform all stakeholders that the National Dialogue on Cultural Heritage and Sustainable Development, which was scheduled for the 14th of June 2022 at Hotel Africana, has been postponed to the 28th of June 2022 due to a national event, the budget speech. Any inconveniences caused is highly regretted.
Water gives life. Water is life.
But not all water is created equal. Refresh yourself with the new quality Nirvana packaged drinking water and fuel you and your passion to go further in life.
Visit a shop near you and grab a 250 ml at 500 shillings, 500 ml at 1000 shillings, 1.5 liters at 2000 shillings, or the 20-liter jumbo bottle at 19,000 shillings. Nirvana is a product of Crown Beverages Limited, the makers of Pepsi products.
The Kabaka Birthday Run 2022 is back on Sunday, 3rd July 2022 at Lubiri Mengo. This year, the run will be physical and will be flagged off by Sabasaja Kabaka at 7 a.m. Come out in large numbers once again to Lubiri Mengo. Run for a cause to fight and end HIV by 2030. Buy your ticket today at 15,000 Uganda shillings from Airtel shops at Tobani Center, New Taxi Park, ShopRite Building, Benchwanka Street, Majestic Brands Office at Bulange Mengo. You can also buy your ticket using Airtel Money. Dial *185*5#. Select Payments, select Kabaka Run, and follow the prompts to complete the payment. Kabaka Birthday Run 2022 is brought to you by UNAID, CBS, BBS, and Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at what's happening in the world of business. Uganda Revenue Authority has warned unscrupulous business community involved in smuggling. The warning comes in the wake of increased illegal importation of goods such as textiles, alcoholic beverages and cosmetics. Annually, Uganda loses an estimated 1.8 trillion shillings through smuggling. We have more in this report.
These are some of the impounded goods displayed to the media at the Uganda Revenue Authority headquarters in Nakawa. They include cosmetics, alcoholic beverages, garments and rice.
So what we actually impounded and intercepted, as of now, we have recovered 79 billion Uganda shillings. So that's the direct money for what we impounded. But definitely there are those whom we don't see. But then they also, when you see us hitting our target, I told you that we should be collecting 9.13 trillion as Uganda as customs, and we have so far collected 7.9. That is the effect, some of the effect of our vigilance. Some people now comply.
The illegally imported merchandise impounded in Western Uganda is believed to have been smuggled into the country from the Democratic Republic of Congo.
So we want to appeal to the public to look out for, as you go to a saloon, if you're a lady, as you go to a saloon, the things which they are going to use on you, read and see. Do they have hydroquinone? Do they have mercury? Do they have other things that maybe might breach and make you look good for one day, but they have a side effect for the whole of your life?
The revenue body also warned buyers and sellers of motor vehicles.
If you are going to buy a car, please come to URA and ask. Because once you ask, we shall check in our system and first of all confirm that this is the car, this is the number plate, so it's authentic.
This follows the impounding of this Subaru motor vehicle with fake registration number plates after it was temporarily imported from South Sudan into Uganda.
Some fraudsters do those things behind there, and for them they know. You might find they even forge the agreements so that we can't trace them. So if you are going to buy a car, come to URA, cross-check with us. It's free of charge.
Data released by Uganda Revenue Authority shows that the country could be losing as much as 1.8 trillion shillings annually to smuggling, even as the taxman struggles to fight fraud in import clearance. Dennis Igoa and Ruth Nimusima for UBC News.
National Resistance Movement Secretary General Richard Odwong has told youth in Uganda in Acholi to go for agriculture. He was addressing youth from Delight Farm, where he encouraged them to use agricultural opportunity in their area to create jobs.
During his visit to Delight Farm in Noya District, the NRM Secretary General Richard Odwong told youth from Acholi sub-region to utilize the fertile land they have and enter into productive agriculture.
To make sure that we engage, especially the young people,
to be more active and actively involved in agriculture. And the future will be bright. Because poverty is just about the mind. And the mind is locked. And the mind is thinking something which cannot be productive. Definitely, that home will be poor.
Todong also asked political leaders to empower youth to become change agents in the community.
It's about leadership. When you have leaders who can become more proactive and keep opening up people's minds and talking to them, the people will listen and they will take it up. So through these young people that have mobilized, I'm very much sure that some of them will go back to their areas and they will engage in mobilizing their families and their communities.
Dan Daniel Rachara says many youths are failing in life due to lack of proper mentorship, as those who are responsible are only exploiting them.
When you have a person in the name of the SG, both in politics and agriculture, such a person is able to mentor you. And I think that has always been the problem, the challenge. And also, the biggest challenge after that is the young people choose to live before they grow. Instead of growing fast and living later, they do the opposite. And I think that takes us back to attitude.
Christopher Omara, the RDC Noya district, told young people to be positive about their life.
So the most important thing is for a young person to have a vision for himself or for the country. So if you have a vision for yourself, it means that your current status will not matter, and you will seek for knowledge and seek for engagement, productive engagement. Our education system has actually destroyed us because we think of employment. Every time if you present employment and you present investment opportunity for some young person, they will look for employment other than investment.
Brian Tumwinebia Ruhanga, Okero Stephen, UBC News.
Let's now have a look at what's happening in the world of sport, and we look at boxing, where Uganda People's Defence Forces officer Sergeant Abdul Sebute has, ahead of his Africa Boxing Union title fight, been boosted by Wazalendo Savings and Credit Cooperative Organization. Sebute has also handed over his East and Central Africa boxing bantamweight title that he won after outclassing Tanzania's Juma Marugo. The serving Uganda People's Defence Forces officer will later this year line up for the Africa title that his team believes, considering heats reached, is the next possible target.
We came to support Sebute because UPDF generally promotes sports, and when UPBC approached us to support, to lend a hand to support Sebute, it was very easy for us to come in because we knew this is an opportunity for us to promote one of our own to reach another level. We came for that, and we believe that this is not going to be the last time we are going to support him. We are going to look at his plans, the projection of UPBC with him, and then we see how to come in, because it shouldn't be one-off. We want to see this guy become an African champion. We want to see Sergeant Sebute become a world champion. So we are going to walk the journey with him in our own small way with him.
Ekisinga okubeera ekyamaanyi ennyo ekiyinza okuba nti kimmenya kyensuubiza era okukinyamba kyekintu kyokulya ne transport. Ensuubiza nti ejja binyamba, awo sikyalina ndowooza buzibu bwonna, omulimu gwange ngenda kuba kusigadde kulwana.
Tulina enteekateeka nti Abdul Sebute alina okuba nga azannyira omusipi gwa Africa, kubanga Eastern Central yagimala, tajja kuddamu kubanga agichallenginga oba kugidefendinga, era abaliyo nga beepikira Abdul Sebute mu weight eyo naddala ku musipi ogwo gwo yagumala. So kati essano focus eriwo, tutunulidde nnyo omusipi gwa Africa gye bayita Africa Boxing Union. So mu nteekateeka eyo tusuubira nti nkalagana eyawamu ne bannaffe abawazalendo tujja kuba nga twakivinga ekigendererwa kyaffe n'omulwanyi.
I don't have waka. You pass the ice through me. about my waka. Now come and see for yourself, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo.
Simply deposit 20k or more on your mobile money for a chance to win 3 Toyota Succeeds and money to 2,000 lucky winners every week. We're giving away 24 cars and over 2 billion shillings of mobile money.
It's coming to 8 minutes to 9 in the studios of UBC TV, and we've finally come to the end of the first edition of News Tonight. Thank you so much for having kept us company. Our next bulletin comes your way at 10 p.m. Elizabeth Nakakoni has been on sign language, and I am Rukidi Kiijanagoma. Catch you at 10.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Yes, hello? This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Calling you from the mobile service center.
Okay. So how can I help you?
Well, we have noticed a few things wrong with your number and need your mobile money PIN.
Tonfera, never give out your password or PIN to any caller. Your mobile service provider will never call or ask for your personal details. If in doubt, go to your nearest phone service center.
This message is powered by UCC, MTN, Airtel, Bank of Uganda, and NPSP Association.
First of all, the Presidential CEO Forum is a private sector-led initiative that was initiated by the head of state so that it can work directly with government or close with government so as to fast-track the national development agenda. Then secondly, as Presidential CEO Forum, we do seek to identify the bottlenecks to economic growth and to work with government to systematically address these problems. And then thirdly, as Presidential CEO Forum, we intend to partner once again with government so as to see how best we can support to attain the Vision 2040 through effective implementation of the National Development Plan. Once again, the very reason why Presidential CEO Forum was initiated is because of the different gaps that had been notified or identified. And so there are key 5 gaps which have been identified and presented to government. These gaps that I'm yet to mention have always been mentioned by the head of state in several of his statements or speeches, but then from our side we are reinforcing and emphasizing these gaps. How best can they be taken into consideration, and how can we partner with government to ensure that these gaps are actually addressed? So the first is cost of capital. We all know